I learned in Pro Tools, and it's so great if you're working, like if you're, recording drum kits, if you're doing like a lot of live tracking, like I still record most of my work for hire vocals in Pro Tools because the comping and the playlisting is just so leaps and bounds beyond Ableton right now. So I was feeling like as I started to produce my own stuff, my first EP, I basically I had started it with friends. We'd co-write, we'd work on in their studios, and then I'd take all the sessions and all the files and I would just like mold them the way that I wanted them to be. And even just doing like automation and MIDI stuff in Pro Tools just felt so clunky and so unnecessarily slow. And it felt like the world and everyone around me was in Ableton, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try this, because I would see people I would work with and just be like, and then it's like, here's all these lanes of automation, all these millions of different things you can do. Oh, you can just click it, you can just drag it. And it felt more intuitive for when I was starting to work more MIDI and more like insular as myself, instead of like needing to, track a live band, for example. Especially with automation, it just feels so much more seamless, and like, I don't know, I hate how you have to like add things in Pro Tools, and it's just slower. So
yeah,
and I think that's a lot of people's answers, right? It's like MIDI is better. It's just like quicker and more creative. It's also a great writing tool in a way that Pro Tools just doesn't feel like it is.
So yeah, I love how it's very, very elegant and musical, dare I say, as well, Did you have any like major kind of breakthrough moments, or did you like discover a thing that made it all click for you when you're in live? Or was it just incremental improvements that kind of added together across time?
I think it was incremental, but I think also the big clicks were like, oh my God, I can just do this. This isn't like breaking the rules like it felt like it was in Pro Tools. And even in my courses that I teach, I'm like, listen, like you might have somebody tell you this isn't like the proper way to do this, but trust your ears. And I think that Ableton, because it's so easy, you just like drag a plugin, you drag a thing. I think that it allows you to be more intuitive with like trusting your own judgment and your ears. And that's what I really like about it, is that it just felt like the rules that I had felt pretty like stifled by with what I learned in college. It felt like those kind of went out the window, and I could just do what I was hearing.
Yeah. I think it's like Pro Tools is really like the ultimate engineer's tool, and live is really like it really is an instrument, isn't it? And I think it's so fascinating, like how you can really push live in so many different directions as well, like when you see people, it's like they're just using it all fully for live sets, or other people who are using it as writing tools and all that kind of stuff.
I think it's really exciting, and I also think it's just less pretentious in a way. Like I will always gravitate towards things that are less pretentious, and that's just my vibe.
That's hilarious. I love it.